Nayana Iz is a very experimental and brave rapper that's been a huge push in the kind of UK underground scene. And this project from her, it shows a lot of thought in terms of her sound. It's kind of a melting pot of so many different cultures, and there's nowhere you can really put her, but you can't deny how great she is. Nayana Iz, Smoke and Fly. So I first heard of her through Finn Foxell. She was on his Good Tea EP. There was a song they did together on there, and I really like how her kind of sound is just a melting pot of so many different cultures. Lyrically, in terms of where she kind of takes her inspirations from, she kind of grew up listening to a lot of MF Doom, and I do feel in terms of how her lyrical prowess really does come along on a lot of this project. It's very easy to see how MF Doom probably influenced her to decide on hip hop as a genre. Before we move on to the review, like and subscribe if you like any of the other stuff I'm doing on this channel. I still got my big rant stuff, I still got my free yourself from suffering stuff as well. So if you're not just looking for reviews, I do other stuff as well. So like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all my content. So this project kind of functions as like a letter from her childhood to us and kind of sharing that with us, and how that developed her and shaped her as a person, how she looked to go on from these different experiences. And she kind of on Instagram laid out what each song and each part of her childhood and each of her struggles kind of made her into who she is, and dedicated to different things about her childhood and different aspects of her childhood. And it's very interesting kind of contrasting that and the statements she made on Instagram about each of the songs with actually listening to the songs and what I think of them. And I do think they very much line up. I do think the ideas are conveyed pretty well. Dear Mama is the opening track, and it very much hones in the idea that she's going for. It's very obvious, it's very dedicated to her mother, and she does say that her mum taught her self-belief and believing in herself and how to dream. And it's these aspects that she really does play upon, and particular lyrics do point this out and are quite witty in terms of how she gets these ideas across. Lyrics such as "Everything is nothing but the world in my reach," also lyrics as such as "Taught me love from the second that I could breathe." It very much hones in the ideas of self-belief and the idolization of her mother as a role model in her life, and taught her basically how to love people and how to be in foreseeable relationships in the future, friendships, that sort of thing, because of the affection that her mother showed her throughout her life and the support that her mother has given her. Asa is the producer of this track and the next one, and I think sonically he's very interesting, and it really does fit with Nayana's kind of thing of not having a particular sound or box or subgenre that she's in, because her music and her sound itself is a melting pot of so many different cultural ideas, different genres and influences she's had, and it really does fit together really nicely to make some really kind of experimental and creative stuff sonically. Kingdom, with the flows, she just spazzed. She actually just went sick on that first verse of this for this track, and it's so nuts. And you could definitely see the way she kind of slides her way into so many different pockets as well. You can see why MF Doom was such an influencer in hip hop, because like just the amount of care it must have taken over the lyrics and over the flow to get that come out so well and so nicely. She actually just spazzed. It's actually ridiculous. I really do like how that contrasts with the beat. You've got like kind of that smooth, kind of peaceful violin melody with the kind of violin like string plucking as well. It kind of lulls you in kind of a false sense of safety, like this is going to be a kind of more calmer track. And then she hits you with this flow and you're like, what the fuck? You just didn't see it coming at all. Walking is another track where she really does strut her stuff in the flows department as well, and that really is a solid part of her ability as a rapper and a musician. On Walking specifically, I like how she kind of shows that you can be lyrical without necessarily just flooding the whole song with punchlines, because you listen to the song and you can't deny the fact that she is lyrical. But even when you kind of pick out lyrics, you wouldn't say, okay, this lyric itself is like a punchline in that sense and what makes it special. It's more about how the verses are constructed with the rhyming schemes and how well it already flows together. You can tell that her pen is very good and is very focused in that aspect. And to say that she's not lyrical lyrical, it just wouldn't make sense. I do like how lyricism isn't only just punchlines, and Nayana Iz really does prove that. I really liked Growing Pains. I really liked the melodic rapping on this one as well, and I really like the production from Rudy, and he really kind of does really well to have these kind of shifting bass lines all the time. The drum patterns are always changing and kind of flowing into each other, which gives the track a sort of evolution and kind of keeps you on your toes, and it's not just stale throughout. It's not just the drum beats just looped throughout the whole song and that's it. There's a lot of different alterations that really make the track interesting. And in terms of the concept of the track itself, it's really more about how as she was growing up and realizing her potential, a lot of the people around her didn't really see what was so special about her, and she felt like that's okay because her being constantly underrated is what made her as good as she is. And so in a way, this track is kind of expressing how grateful she is to those people. The lyric, try to watch me grow, try to reap up what I sow, it's that kind of lyric there that kind of sets out the idea where she's kind of growing in terms of her ability as an artist, and you didn't want to support me before, and now you kind of want to pick up the pieces of my success and benefit from it, even though you didn't believe in me before, and there's this kind of a big fuck you but thank you at the same time. What, in terms of flows from her and rap flows, this is probably the more aggressive flow on the entire project. I really do like it, and I like how it fits in with kind of the theme, what she's trying to go after. She's trying to vent her frustration about the idea of the kind of whole get along gang, and the idea that, okay, when I change myself to get in with the get along gang, all of a sudden you rate me, but when I'm doing my thing and I'm really being true to myself, you guys don't want to know me. And she's like, fuck all of that, I'm not trying to do any of that. And in a way, it's kind of a self-reflection of kind of looking like, why am I doing this? Am I a dickhead? What? No, it's not happening. Kind of venting her frustrations about that. There's that whole segment where it's like smoking on that sticky black. There's this whole segment where it's like smoking skunked, it's their soul, I've got that sticky black, and it's that whole segment there with the flows and kind of how it fits in with the kind of alliteration as well. It's fucking nuts. Like the pen game is crazy. You won't have the punchlines flitted all over there and kind of thrown out in your face in that way, but it doesn't mean the pen isn't there, and it's just so intricate, and I really love it. So Final Hour is got the only feature on the song. It's a collaboration with another member of the NiNE8 Collective that she is a part of, Lorenz. So I really do like the chemistry between both of them, and I think the synergy is really great here. I do like kind of the song structure in terms of how they decided to do it. I do like the beat change on Lorenz's verse, and kind of how the bass line kind of cuts out and then comes back in later for Lorenz. So in terms of flows, it gives him a bit more freedom in terms of the first half of his verse where the bass line cuts out, because in terms of how like rap flows work, sometimes the bass line can kind of govern what flows can and can't work and what pockets you can find. But when the bass line cuts out, he's kind of free to have whatever pockets in the melodies he wants, which means he can kind of really flex himself and have a bit more individuality there, and I really do like how that's all put together. TNT has got to be one of my favourites in terms of sonically and how it all puts together. In terms of the song itself, I really do like that melody. I want to say it's a banjo, but I'm not sure because, I don't know, it kind of sounds like a banjo, but I don't think it's a banjo. Don't know why. But I really do like how it's really, at this point, she's very sure of herself, her confidence kind of exudes, and on Instagram she talks about the song saying, my third eye is open now, no one's going to take advantage of me again, I know my worth in terms of as an artist and as a person and how great I am, you either accept that or you don't and you fuck off. And that she really does bring that across on this song with particular lyrics as well. Even then, I talked about kind of punchline game, and she does have a bit of that. So on this one, it's got Life is a Book, Gotta Rip Out the Sheets. That's a really cool one as well, and I do feel like they are dotted around on the songs, but her lyricism doesn't rely on punchlines in that same way, because of how her pen is just quite a bit more intricate and a bit more complicated than kind of just lacing in and throwing in and packing punchlines everywhere. Yeah, again, it's another top rating, so overall I'm giving this a B+, flat out. I really did enjoy the project, pretty much. From the flows to how intricate the whole thing is put together with the sounds, and how it's just a kind of melting pot of so many different cultures, in terms of sonically, how she puts the instrumentals together and all the different producers working with her. I really do like how intricate her flows can be and her pen itself, and she uses that to bring across some pretty cool song concepts in terms of what emotions and what childhood experiences she wants to get across to you, and then how she puts it all together to form the idea of the entire project. So I really do like it overall, and you should definitely check out her music. Yeah, again, just to explain, B+ is basically the top rating simply because of how I feel like the A category is like timeless and legendary music, and it takes time in order to figure out if something is timeless, although I can sometimes shortlist something for A tier if I feel like it's something in their discography that people are going to look back over for a long time, or it's going to impact a lot of the underground scene or whatever scene they belong to in that respect. And I feel like it's hard to make that speculation unless something is just so overpoweringly good in that sense that it forces you to make such a speculation. But I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like making such a speculation haphazardly, so I generally try to avoid it. So thank you for watching all the way to the end. Like and subscribe if you like any of the stuff I'm doing on this channel. I've still got the Izzy Gibbs and Dima reviews up to go, so make sure you like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any of those. And I think, depending on when this video is released, I've still got my UK R&B Is There a Case of Capital Flight big rant video on the way as well. So if you like any of my stuff going on this channel, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because most of the people who watch my videos, literally 80% of you, aren't subbed. So please sub and keep an eye on all the stuff I've got going in the future. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope to see you in further videos. Peace, thank you very much.